Welcome to my review of the Butterick B6094 dress pattern. I made this dress about this time last year. I think, as you can see, my favourite September colour is this type of colour that I've got in this dress and in this dress too. So yeah, it was about this time last year when I first attempted to make this pattern, and I absolutely love it. It is from the Patterns by Gertie range of Butterick, which are lovely 1950s style patterns. And this one comes with two variations. It comes with a full circle skirt option or a pencil skirt option. I haven't made the pencil skirt option yet, but I think I will give that a try, and maybe in the plaid type fabric that it's got on here. But the version that I made here was the full circle. The fabric that I chose to use is a fine needle corduroy, 100% cotton corduroy. It's quite heavyweight, but I thought that worked really well with this dress because it is good to have a bit of structure. And I don't very often work with block colours, but I thought that works really well with this dress because I'm not sure if you can see on the camera, but what makes this really special is this midriff section. It has got a separate midriff band which runs all the way around, shaping under the bust, which gives the dress a great shape. Now, 1950s is my favourite style, but it doesn't always suit my figure because I've got quite a boyish shape. But I did find that this one is one of the ones that suits me the best because of this section that it adds here. It does just kind of clinch you in and give you a little bit of shape where you may not naturally have it. It's got darts at the side here, so the darts run from the midriff section up to the apex point of the bust. I also added some inseam pockets. I love to have pockets in my dresses. I don't know why, because I never put anything in them, but it just doesn't feel right if I don't have a pocket. And I did use some contrasting fabric which runs through the facing and the back as well, which I'll show you in a second. As it's a full circle skirt, it works great with petticoats. So you can, on my mannequin here, I have got a petticoat underneath, which just gives it that great volume and that great shape. And I also find that my favourite way to hem a circle skirt is to use bias binding. And on this dress, I've used a beautiful patterned bias binding, which just gives it that little extra bit of detail as well. What makes this dress really special though is the back. So it does have a sailor back, and I'll flip the mannequin round in a second so I can show you. There's not too many parts to the dress, which is why it is in their easy range. You've got the bodice front, the bodice back. You've got the midriff section, the front here and the back. You've got the facing. You've got the skirt options, so the full circle skirt is what I used. And that's it really. Techniques wise, you need to know how to sew curved seams because the midriff section does run on a curve. You need to know how to sew darts because of the bust darts that are here. And you need to know how to attach a facing. Now the pattern does instruct you to both line and face the bodice, but I didn't feel that I needed to do it on my version because the fabric is quite heavyweight anyway, so I skipped the lining section and just worked with a facing, which worked out absolutely fine. If you're using a lighter weight fabric, then or something that could irritate your skin, like something wool based, then absolutely line it as well, but it wasn't necessary on this dress at all. I'll just flip it round to show you the back. Hopefully that is in shot. So what you can see is this beautiful sailor back detail, and that's what makes this dress really special and what makes it really unique. And I've added a couple of bead type buttons just to finish the corners off as well. I used a contrasting tilde quilting fabric, so quilting weight cotton, to do both the facings and the sailor back. And then you've got the invisible or concealed zip that runs down the back here. Now, when I did put this dress together, zips were still my nemesis at that point, and I could never quite get them right. So you probably can't see on the camera, so maybe I didn't need to tell you, but I will anyway. The waistband here finishes there on one side of the zip and there on the other, so it is a little bit off balance. I have since learned a new technique which helps to stop that from happening, so I will add a lesson soon to share that with you. So looking a bit more at the inner construction, so the sailor back is attached through a facing which runs all the way around the front, around the armholes, and then it extends out to the back to create that detail there. The instructions are quite easy to follow actually in that area. As I say, my sewing skills have moved on quite a bit in the last year, and I didn't have any problems putting this together at all. So it runs all the way around. I've used that beautiful contrast Tilda fabric. I'll show you the front when I flip the mannequin back around. Okay, so just to show you the facing at the front. So you can see it runs all the way around the neck edge and around the armholes. So this dress really does feel as special on the inside as it does on the outside, and that's what I love about it. I did also finish the inside seams using the overlocker machine to give that real neat finish on the inside too. What I would say, perhaps one of my only regrets with it really is the corduroy. If you've worked with corduroy before, it's a pleasure to work with, it really is. However, it tends to get bits of fluff sticking to it, so like here now I can see a couple of specks of fluff which just get picked up in the air and tend to cling to corduroy. And also, if you're not wearing it with a petticoat and you haven't added a lining to the skirt, corduroy can tend to stick to tights and ride up if you're wearing it with tights. What I'd suggest there, if you are working with corduroy, is just put a slip or something like that underneath to stop that from happening. Time-wise, I'd say this dress perhaps took me about 5 hours or so to make, maybe five to 6 hours. Nothing too complicated in it at all. You do need to have, as I say, basic knowledge of putting zips in, sewing darts. This was what was new for me on this, was perhaps working with the more curved seams. Because I'd only kind of tended to add rectangle skirts to bodices, which is a little bit simpler, but it worked out absolutely fine if you just follow the instructions. So I definitely recommend the pattern. Any questions that you've got about it at all, just leave in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them. And definitely give it a go, and I look forward to seeing what you make. Okay, thanks. Bye.